So the first card I wanted to talk about here was the Okidogi illustration rare from Shrouded Fable. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to what's been going on with Shrouded Fable recently, but it is skyrocketing. So I thought, since I'm doing a 10 illustration rares under $10 video, thought it would be cool to include some stuff that I think is really cool looking from Shrouded Fable. And the first card is this Okidogi illustration rare, and I just think the art on this card is just incredible, with him smashing all the rocks and the different colors. I love how they splashed these purple and bluish colors all over the rocks. I think it makes this card look just insane, and it really stands out as opposed to the other cards that are in this set. And it's also been skyrocketing in value, as we see here, from really January 15th to about January 28th is when it just took off, and is now from a price of $5.28 all the way up to around almost $8. The market price right now is $7.60. So, and this is just an all-around really cool looking card, so I would really recommend that you pick this card up. So continuing on my Shrouded Fable binge, I'm going to take a look at this card right here, which is the Q-Fant illustration rare from Shrouded Fable. And I just think this card is just, stunning. It's a gorgeous looking card, with the way they painted the reflections on the water and the rainbow in the background. And this is just like a really, looking at this card just makes me happy, man. Like, this is just such a fun and happy looking card, and I would love to add this to my collection. I actually just ordered this card not too long ago for around, I did overpay for it for a little bit, but that's just because everybody is skyrocketing with their Shrouded Fable prices, trying to, capitalize on all this craze that's going around. So I did pay about $10 for it on eBay, but the market price is $7.66, which I think is a long shot from where it was in December. From December, it has just continuously climbed up and up and up and up to around where it's at right now, which is $7.66. But this card, like I said, it's just a beautiful card. The reason why I bought it is just because the art is just genuinely beautiful to me, and I would love to see this card get some more love online, because I just think it's a beautiful illustration rare. So the next card I wanted to show you guys here for the 10 illustration rares under $10 is this Raboot card from Stellar Crown. Now there's not many expensive cards in Stellar Crown, aside from, of course, the Terapagos and the Bulbasaur and the Squirtle. I'm very fortunate to have pulled the Bulbasaur out of an Elite Trainer box recently, so I'm really stoked about that. But as you can see here, this is just insane right here that someone is selling this for $21. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But the market price is $6.64, and I think this is just a really dope card because it's a line from a starter Pokemon, which over time will always reciprocate value. And it's just a really cool looking card, with him kicking the snowball. It's a very aesthetic looking card. It doesn't really look like how a typical fire type card would look, and that's what makes it so unique to me, is that this is just a very unique fire type card. It's very aesthetic. I love how they've added in the snow and the blur. It just looks super cool to me, and I would think anyone would love to have this card in their collection. So the next card I wanted to show you guys is this Feebas card from Surging Sparks. I kind of cheated on this one a little bit. It does say that the near mint price is $10.18, but then down here it also says the market price is $8.98. So I'm not really sure. I'm going to include it anyway, just because it's even if this is the correct price, it's only 18 cents over. So I'm just a sucker for these water type cards where they draw the Pokemon underwater. I just think these are probably some of the coolest illustration rares that you can find out there, is these water types where they draw them actually underwater, swimming around. I just think they're super cool looking. This one doesn't look like it's out in the ocean. It looks like it's kind of in a lake or a pond of some sort with a lot of vegetation. The water, you can tell it's a little greenish, brownish maybe, and there's like some sunlight shining in on the Pokemon. Once again, I just think this is a beautiful card. It's a very unique design. You don't really see a lot of cards like this. They're only just now starting to draw a lot of these illustration rares underwater, which I think is super cool. And like I said, I'm a sucker for these underwater cards. And if you look here, the price has actually tanked quite a bit. It's actually went from a high of around $15, and it's just kind of tanked ever since. And it's starting to slowly go back up a little bit. So maybe we'll see a resurgence in the price of this card, but as of right now, I think this would be a great pickup for anybody looking for a really cool looking illustration rare that's under $10. So this might be my favorite card on the list that I'm going to show you guys today, but this one is the Clauncher illustration rare from the Scarlet and Violet base set. And like I said, man, I'm a sucker for these underwater cards, and this one just, knocks my socks off. I think the art on this card is just insane. It looks so nice, and I love how there's just a Skrelp hiding around in the background. But I think the detail in, the vegetation and whatnot, and just the overall, feeling that I get when I look at this card, it's just incredible, man. And I would love to add this card to my collection, and it's actually extremely cheap. I would think this card would be a lot more than what it is, just because it's such a really cool looking card. But it's sitting at around $3.50 right now, which I think is an absolute steal for this card. This card is, it's insane looking. I don't see how this card could, be any cheaper than this. I think it should be a lot more expensive than what it is. So if you haven't already, go pick this card up right now. And so the next card we have here on the list is this Zeraora illustration rare from Stellar Crown. And I mean, this one is pretty self-explanatory. Just take a look at this card, man. This card is sick. Just all the colors it makes it appear like he's zooming past the card, and just the detail on this electricity coming out of his claws, and even on his face. I mean, I don't see how anyone could look at this card and say, I don't want it. I mean, this card is just insane looking. And at under $10, I think this card is a steal, and I think you're going to see some sizable returns on this in the future, as this card has only gone up. It went from an all-time low of around $5 all the way up to what it's at now, which is around $9.18. The market is $9.14 right now, which I think this card is a steal. I think this card is going to, go up in price significantly later down the line. And if you don't have this card already, I highly recommend you pick it up, just for the, how much of an eye catcher it is, and how much somebody will be like, wow, that card is really cool, when they're, flicking through your binder or something. So here we have another card that could be considered one of my favorites on this list, and this is Snom from Temporal Forces. I just find the art in this card to be extremely intriguing, because it almost looks like hyper realistic. Like it looks like this was taken with a camera as opposed to it being drawn, which I think is super cool, and I really like cards that look like that. And I mean, just the card is just beautiful. I mean, I don't see how you could look at this card and say that it looks bad. I mean, even though Snom might not be that popular of a Pokemon, I think just the art of this card is reason alone to pick it up. I mean, just look at this thing. It's incredible. And at a market price of $8.39, I think this is a must-have for any illustration rare enthusiast. And if we take a look, this card is actually at plus 92%. So who knows, you may see some returns when you buy this card. But yeah. So the next card we have on the list here is Wo-Chien EX from Paldea Evolved. And I don't really have to say much here. This is a legendary Pokemon illustration rare. actually a special illustration rare. This is a legendary Pokemon special illustration rare for under $10. I mean, if that doesn't want to make you pick up this card alone, just take a look at the art. I mean, the art on this card is incredible. It looks like it almost feels like we're walking through the jungle and we're about to clear through and reach the Pokemon. It's just such a cool artwork, and I would love to have this one in my collection. It's definitely on my list of pickups, and it looks like this card has had a little bit of a rocky chart here. Looks like it started out at about $10, then peaked up over near 11, and then now it's around $9.80. So I think this card is a steal for under $10. I mean, who wouldn't pick up a special illustration rare of a legendary Pokemon for under $10, man? You gotta be crazy if you don't want that. So the next card I've got for you guys is this Phione from Twilight Masquerade. I actually just pulled this card recently, and I pulled it and I was like, wow, I just can't stop looking at this card, man. Like, it's my favorite color is blue, so I'm sure you guys could see why I would love this card. And it's just a really cool artwork. Like, I like how again, it's an underwater card, which I said earlier I'm a sucker for, so I had to put this one on the list. But just the artwork, just take a look at this for a second. I mean, the sunlight cascading down, and it looks like the Phione is the center of the card with all these Wailmers and Wailords in the background. I mean, this card it just feels special, man. When you're looking at it, it's just like, it feels special. I mean, it's just beautiful artwork. And if we take a look at the price here, it is going for around $6, with the most recent sale being $5.39, which I think, again, is a steal for this card. And it looks like the price has only been skyrocketing recently, so if you don't have this card, I would pick it up because it is a steal for this beautiful of a card. And the final card I have for you guys on this 10 illustration rares under $10 video is this Blitzle card from Paradox Rift. And I think Paradox Rift is a very underrated set. I might do a video just on Paradox Rift alone for the amount of amazing cards that set has that people haven't really caught on to yet, and I think this is one of those cards. I mean, just take a look at the artwork on this card. Just the ambiance that this card sets is just incredible. I mean, it's nighttime forest with the two Blitzles in the background, and they're kind of, lighting up the scene with their, electricity on their fur. I mean, to me, this is just one of those cards that I need to have just for the art alone, just so I can look at it in person. I'm sure this card looks 10 times better in person, and at a price of $5.64, I think that is a steal for this good looking of a card. And if we take a look at the price chart here, it's only gone up, so I think you might also see, if you want to invest in this card and maybe, keep it, hold on to it until it becomes higher in value, I think this would be a good card to do so. Again, I think the art is really what, is driving the price of this card up. It's just a extremely, extremely beautiful card. And I just wanted to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys will, keep checking out some more of my videos as they come out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.